May I help you?
My teacher said I could talk to you. I wanted to tell you that I think you are a liar and that your program stinks.
Just out of curiosity, why do you think I'm a liar?
You think just because you're a grown-up that kids will believe anything you tell them. Well, I don't. I know you were lying to us.
What do you think I lied about?
The part where you said no matter how bad a situation is, if you look hard enough, you can always find something you could turn into a benefit for yourself. I know that's not the truth. Some things are so awful you could never find a benefit no matter how hard you try.
What's your name?
Tommy.
Can you give me an example of something you find to be so awful you could never find a benefit for yourself?
Yeah, divorce. No matter how hard you try, you can never find any benefit from divorce.
How old are you? And what do you know about divorce?
I'm 12, and I know a lot about divorce because my family just got one.
I'm sorry you and your family have gone through that. I've gone through a divorce too, and I know how much it hurts everyone involved. I have a few minutes before I have to leave. Do you want to talk?
Not really. I just wish this hadn't happened. Sometimes I feel like it's all my fault. My mom and dad fought all the time. Maybe if I'd been a better kid, they wouldn't have fought so much.
I'm pretty sure the divorce wasn't your fault, Tommy. Why don't you tell me about your life? What was it like before your family got divorced?
Every day was pretty much the same. I have a sister. When we got home from school, there was a rule that we had to start our homework while we were waiting for our parents to get home. And a half an hour later, our mom would get home, and she would ask about our day and start dinner. Then a half hour later, our dad would get home. He would ask about our day too. But then he'd start drinking. He and Mom would start fighting. They would yell all during dinner. Then they'd go into the living room and yell some more. The only TV set we had was in the living room, so we never got to see our favorite shows. Mostly we just went into our rooms and closed the doors so we didn't have to hear what they were saying.
I'm sorry, Tommy. That must have been hard for you and your sister. But what about now? Do you all still live together?
Duh, I said we got a divorce. My dad lives in an apartment, me, my mom, and my sister live in the house.
So, what's it like now?
Mom still gets home at the same time. We still have the rule about starting our homework as soon as we get home. We all eat together, and then our mom helps with our homework if we need it. Then we all go into the living room and watch TV. Sometimes we can even play video games with our friends. It's kind of different.
You're quite an artist, Tommy.
What do you mean?
You've painted a picture with your words. Using your words, you've created a very vivid image here of what your life used to be. And here, you've painted a picture of how things are now. Artists sometimes title their work. Your word pictures are so real, I'd like to give them a title. Do you think you can do that? Let's start with the one that describes how things used to be in your house. Use one word to describe the whole painting.
Violent. I want to call this one violent.
That's a big word, Tommy. Do you know what that word means?
Yep, I know all right, and that's what I want to call my painting.
Okay, then. What about the other one? What do you want to call the other painting?
Quiet. I think I will call this one Quiet.
That works. Will you walk around over here with me so we could take a look at both paintings at the same time? I want you to take a look at both of the paintings you've created, Tommy. I want you to forget about your mother, your father, and your sister as you look at both of the paintings. Thinking only about yourself. Which painting describes what is best for you?
Quiet. Living where it's quiet is best for me.
Wow, you're good. We've been talking for only 4 minutes. In just 4 minutes, you were able to use strategy 3. You took a situation you can't change, and then you found a benefit in that thing you don't want and can't change.
Huh, you aren't as dumb as I thought you were.
Thank you, Tommy. The next time you find yourself feeling angry or sad or any of those other negative emotions you feel when you think about the divorce, I want you to make your mind focus on the benefit of living where it's quiet now, where there isn't any fighting. Make your mind hold on to that thought until you can feel your feelings change. Hold on to that thought until you can feel yourself feel better. That's what strategy 3 is all about. You can do this, Tommy. I know you can.
I'm glad you came to my school. Thanks to you, now I know that this divorce wasn't my fault. It's my dad's fault. I hate his guts. I'm gonna hate him for the rest of my life for causing this.
I don't blame you for feeling that way. Sounds like your dad's a real loser. I hate him too.
You don't even know my dad. I don't think it's fair for you to say mean things about him.
You're right. I don't know your dad. Why don't you tell me something good about him so I could change my mind?
Well, I play in a baseball league, and my dad comes to every single game. My friend says he wishes his dad would come to even one game.
Do you know how much love it takes to go to every single game? Maybe your dad has problems, but that doesn't make him a bad person. In fact, it sounds like he loves you very much and you're a big priority in his life.
I think my dad really does love me. Maybe I shouldn't hate him. I'm gonna hate my mom. She's the reason my dad drinks so much. My dad says Mom can make anyone drink because she's such a nag.
Sounds like you're onto something here, Tommy. It sounds like your mom is really the problem and we should both hate her because she's really the loser.
You don't... Wait... I see what you're doing. You're gonna make me find something good about my mom now, aren't you?
You got it. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, my mom is the one who drives us to all the practices. She's the best cook in the whole school. And she lets us have friends over whenever we ask.
We are so done here. Your parents may not love each other, but they certainly love you. And do you know how bright you are? In just 10 minutes, you've used strategies 1 and 3 in switching your attitude from negative to positive.
What were steps 1 and 3 again?
Strategy 1 asks us to look for the good in people, in opportunities, and in our experiences. Strategy 3 is about looking at a situation we don't like but can't change until we can find something in that situation we can see and use as a benefit for ourselves. This step is a really important one, and it's very personal. When you use strategy 3, you have to keep in mind that you're looking for something that's a benefit to you. This is just about you.
So I'm just supposed to help myself?
This doesn't mean you're being selfish. Sometimes the benefit you find isn't the same as someone else would find. And remember this, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone in the world goes through ups and downs in life. Sometimes life is good and everything is working out, but then there are times when stuff happens. People lose someone they love, or pets they love, or their lives change because they're in an accident, or someone gets a job in another city and the whole family has to move and make all new friends. Things we don't want but can't change happen to everyone from time to time. Having a positive attitude makes it possible to move on, to adjust, and to find happiness again. Always, always, the key to having a good life is keeping your attitude positive. Sometimes it might be helpful to talk to someone you trust or someone you respect, maybe someone older than you that you think has a good heart. Sometimes talking to someone like that can help you find the benefit.
I think I get it.
Here's what I think, Tommy. I think you are one of the smartest, most honest kids I've ever met. I think you just learned and understood one of the most important secrets to achieving, succeeding, and living a happy life. I think you're a born role model, a leader. So here's a challenge for you. What about strategy 2 and making your attitude positive? Do you remember strategy 2? Strategy 2 is looking at the situation you don't like to see if there's anything you can do to make it better. From my own experience, I could tell you that most of the time, there is something we can change to make a situation we don't like better. Want to give this a try? What is it about the divorce that upsets you most?
I hate how my mom and dad always say such mean things about each other.
Give me an example.
Well,
I spend the weekends with my dad,
and
from the time I get into his truck after school on Friday
to when he
brings me home on Sunday afternoon,
all he does is complain about Mom. And she's just as bad.
all she ever wants to talk to me about is mean stuff about my dad. They never talk to me about anything except how much they hate each other.
I have to get going to my presentation at my next school, but I want you to do something for me, Tommy. I want you to think about whether there is anything you can do to make your situation better for yourself. If there is, I want you to do whatever you can to make this situation better. Then, I want you to email me and tell me about it. Will you do that?
Yeah, I will.
Five and a half weeks later, I was back home in Michigan after my school presentations tour when I received an email from Tommy. He had written a 5-page letter.
Dear Mrs. Z, I just had to tell you what happened since you came and talked at our school. My dad picked me up on Friday after school, and as soon as I got into his truck, he started to say something bad about my mom. I thought of getting out of the truck, but I just looked at him and said, "Dad, if all you ever want to do is say mean things about Mom, I don't want to stay with you on weekends. I know you don't love her anymore, but I do, and it hurts me to hear you say such mean things about her. If that's all you want to talk about, I'm just going to stay at Mom's." My dad just looked at me. Then he put the key in the ignition and started the truck. As we were pulling away, he said, "Want to go to a basketball game tonight?"
Tommy's letter said that he and his dad went to the basketball game on Friday night. On Saturday, they went to a park and then out for pizza.
Mrs. Z, it was so much fun. We had guy talk all weekend. Dad never said one bad thing about Mom. I had the most fun I've ever had with Dad. On Sunday, he took me back to my mom's. I could hardly wait to tell her how much fun I had. I walked up to the house and she was standing there waiting for me with her arms crossed and a grumpy look on her face. She started to say something bad about my dad. I put my hand up and said, "Don't do it, Mom. Don't wreck the best time I've ever had with Dad. I know you don't love him, but I still do. If all you ever want to do is say mean things about him, I think I should just go live with him."
Tommy wrote that his mom just stood there, not saying a word. It was like watching a movie in slow motion. Her head fell forward, her shoulders slumped, and she began to cry. When she raised her head, he could see her face was wet with tears. She walked slowly towards Tommy, putting her arms around him, and hugged him for a long time. "I'm so sorry, Tommy," his mom said. "I can't believe what I've been doing to you and your sister. Your dad and I love you very much. We will always love you and your sister. We just won't ever live together again. But I'm going to make you a promise. I promise you that for the rest of my life, I will never say an unkind thing about your father to you and your sister. I give you my word."
You were right, Mrs. Z. I was able to do something that made things a lot better for me and my sister, and I think for my mom and dad too. For 5 weeks, nobody has said anything bad about anybody.
Tommy's letter ended by letting me know that every day since he learned about key number 1 and having a positive attitude, he does the check and change by asking, "What am I thinking? What am I saying? What am I doing? What am I feeling?"
If he finds he's thinking, saying, doing, or feeling anything negative, he uses the strategies he learned to change his attitude from negative to positive. He said he had some really good feeling switches for strategy 4, too, and that one was a picture of his family standing together and smiling after his last baseball game.
Mrs. Z, I hope you tell all kids how important a positive attitude is. Knowing about a positive attitude and how to use the 4 strategies changed my life. Your forever friend, Tommy.